Round 2 of the new Esso Saloon Championship at Silverstone. In inclement conditions, the track and tyres could be the choice, but this is the car to watch, the new Nissan in the hands of Keith Odor. So what are the advantages of this technically interesting new car?
Well, it's the two differences that the Nissan has, and that is mainly the four-wheel drive system. Silverstone National Circuit has several very tight exit corners. The four-wheel drive system really comes into its own on those corners, with the rear-wheel steering helping to turn in on the fast corners.
Well, as I said, tyres are really going to be the answer to this race here on a drying track. There we see the front row. The other man on the outside of the front row is number 17, Sean Andrews. Graham Davis and Angus McKay well up. All RS Cosworths behind that Nissan. Lionel Abbott, though, well up with the Saab. After last week, that could be an advantage, perhaps, not to be so far to the front. Here they come, however, at the end of the pace lap. And undoubtedly, I think the Sierras are going to have their work cut out. But, of course, if the track dries, it could be a different situation. Lionel Abbott through on the inside of the Saab. Very good grip there. Most of them, I think, have chosen to go on dry tyres, Odor being one of those who's chosen to go on wet. But it's Odor in the lead, but you can see the dry patches. I think he's made the wrong choice of tyres there. But I'm quite sure he has. Up there, looking through to go past number 6, Angus McKay, is the Saab. Abbott barely passed, there he wasn't, so it's going to have to be the inside of Beckett's if he can make it under braking. Lionel Abbott, a lot of experience, gets through on the inside. It makes the exit to the corner a little bit more difficult for him, but bungs on the power. Front washes out of it because, of course, it's front-wheel drive on the Saab, but the Nissan is being challenged, or is it? Nissan's still out front, but I think that he's going to have his work cut out. Behind 17, then, the man to watch. And I reckon that Sean Andrews could make life very difficult up ahead. Here are the BMWs. We're in car now with Matt Neal. Matt Neal, bang! Oh dear. Another man who missed his braking. Sorry, he says. A very gentlemanly driver, young Master Neal. Looking for his way through on the inside, and I can't say that I blame him for that. I think that he did really come to one of those awkward situations when the guy in front did brake a bit early. Sliding all over the road there, the Sierra of John Pye, but Neal is through and past him. Here's the Nissan, and he's already looking for the wet patches. He's already looking for the wet patches. He knows he's made the wrong choice. Now that is significant indeed. David Pinkney up into second place at the moment, but the Nissan driver looking for the wet patches, and I think that Odor is already regretting that choice. I think he's going to regret it even more. I think that's going to result in him probably throwing away what could have been a very significant win, and he needed one badly. Graham Davis making his way up. Here is the Nissan. And here, coming past him now, the Sierras. Going past him there, taking the wide line in and getting away with it, which surprised me. David Pinkney takes the lead. Behind Pinkney, Sean Andrews. And what is significant about Andrews' car is that it's one that, if you like, you or I or anybody else can go and rent to drive. He's not driving it season long. The 34-years-old architect from just up the road from Silverstone has come through to second place in a car that, as I said, is a rent-to-drive. He's not going to do all the rounds of the championship unless somebody comes along with a big bag of gold or a nice new office building to design. There is the Saab. Abbott outpaced a little bit this week. He didn't get quite as good a start as he'd hoped. I don't think the grip, as he got away from the line, was quite what he was looking for. He was on a wet patch, and that could be quite significant as far as Lionel's concerned. He's up there, however, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th place, and the Nissan steadily falling back. Keith Odor must be really pig sick with himself. Found a little bit of wet there and wished he hadn't. And Odor in front now of Lionel Abbott, trying to keep those tyres cool some way, somehow. It's now dry track there. Here comes Abbott up alongside and past. So Abbott moves up a place at the expense of Keith Odor. Up in front, we can still see that battle. And undoubtedly, Sean Andrews is really pushing very hard, but Pinkney up ahead. Number 4, Graham Davis, just behind the Saab. Winner of round one, Graham Davis, but not showing perhaps on this drying track the form that took him to victory in round one, but there's still some way to go, so let's see if he can get himself up a few places as yet. He's looking very closely, and I'm quite sure that however closely he looks, Lionel Abbott will be trying to keep the door shut. Here's the battle for the lead. Number 17, the man to watch applying the pressure, Shaun Andrews. And the Hoosier car, Hoosier tyres, almost unknown here, snatches that place from the Saab, but very successful, of course, in American racing, the big ovals, the saloons in NASCAR. We heard Hoosier, the name on everybody's lips a few years ago, as they were winning everything, and then, having put it in the bag, withdrew, and then everybody else got on with it again. But now this is their push, if you like, in Europe. Still slippery if you're in the wrong bit of the circuit, as you can find out there. If you look through Lionel Abbott's windscreen, find out just how badly Graham Davis was suffering then. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the other battles going on behind in Class B. That's Matt Neal, still sorting it out with Pye. And Pye there really getting himself into a bit of a tangle, but back to Lionel Abbott on the side. Oh, that's a little bit of grass cutting, and I think that is that as far as number 4 Graham Davis is concerned in the place. Davis, having got in front, has got it all to do all over again. See the battle for the lead going on. You can see, in fact, still that Shaun Andrews has not really sorted out that problem up ahead of him. But here's Lionel Abbott. Here's Andrews. Andrews on the inside. Andrews outbreaks. Andrews snatches the lead, or does he? It's going to be a big lean job as he comes out. And Abbott spins. Abbott has lost it in the middle of Brooklands there. Gets it back together again. He didn't actually go through a full 180. Kept the engine running, lost the minimum amount of time, but here's the new leader, Shaun Andrews. The architect who is drawing the plan for this second round of the Esso Saloon Championship here at Silverstone as far as Class A is concerned. And Pinkney has got it all to do and not quite sure how he's going to manage it. This is the Class C battle. Paul Richmond in the Vauxhall, Roger Jones there with the Volkswagen, touching in front Graham Churchill with a Steels inherited Honda leading his Class D, and it's Crinkle the number on the side of the Volkswagen there. The Volkswagen heading the Astra, both 16 valve of course, and here is the battle for the lead once more. Shaun Andrews, but through on the inside. That's a fine move by Steve Monk to snatch away that place from Pinkney, who is no longer the challenger as far as Shaun Andrews is concerned now. So Monk through. And Monk is now the man applying pressure, but these three pretty close together. They're through on the inside there of a slower car. Somebody retiring into the pits. If you're wondering what happened to the Nissan, by the way, that too has pulled out because he was on the wrong tyres and decided that he'd put the right ones on and will circulate, I've no doubt, in a moment or two, but is really effectively out of the running. But that's something for the future, that Nissan, because it really is a quick car. We're in car now with Matt Neal, however, looking to make up for the little bump that he had earlier on. He's lying second in the class, and oh, that's another little gentle kiss, puts him off on the grass. John Pye again. Well, I don't know about Pye. That's certainly rather overcooked. But Neal has got the car back on song very quickly there. The class leader, however, and this is the class leader we're looking at now, is number 33, Steve Griffin. Redhead Steve Griffin, who won the class last time, and another man who may not yet go through the entire season. Graham Churchill leading his class, behind him that battle. And, oh, that too was a moment to relish. Graham Davis doing the leaning there. Graham Davis trying everything round the outside. That was a very chancy manoeuvre past Pinkney, gets it very sideways, but got away with it. Well, that was showing immense determination and pretty good car control because it was wet and dry and greasy and pretty horrible. And that's Peter Tyson going through on the inside of Neil. We see from Matt Neal's car his view of Peter Tyson. Gripping stuff there for the Pirelli man. And these two side by side, and when it comes to telling you how standard their car is, well, there's not much to choose between Peter Tyson and Matt Neal. They both say that we haven't been an awful lot to do to these two cars at the moment. We're still struggling hard. We've got the handling something like right, but engine-wise, we're pretty normal. Very, very little you can do to these cars, really, in real terms, to alter them about from the norm. Obviously, a blueprinted engine, which means taking it down and putting it back together again very, very carefully. And making sure that everything is to the manufacturer's best spec rather than the tolerances that they allow, and that's what blueprinting is all about. Interesting battles going on up and down the field. That's, well, somebody showing that you can drive round and somebody showing that you can have shock at the last moment. And the man who had shock at the last moment there was Mike Leonard. But this is an interesting battle, Tyson and Neal here. Matt Neal fighting it out with Tyson, all pretty close. Upper gear there, the ZF box as we go into the last lap, and this is still Shaun Andrews' race. Shaun Andrews has stamped his definition upon this. Neal getting sideways there, but he's got in front of Peter Tyson. Neal definitely holding off Tyson at the moment, and he's got to manage to do it as they come out of here. Modicum of opposite lock. It's a family affair for the Neals. Mother Diana used to drive pretty well, and Steve, of course, was a Works Mini driver in the 60s. Through over the line, they've got a lap to do, but this man in Class D, Graham Churchill, might just get caught and lapped and could avoid doing it. Behind, equally, the battle between Vaughan Richmond and Roger Jones has gone in Roger Jones with the Volkswagen's favour. But there's a pretty good tough scrap going on still for second place between Monk and Davis. Andrews is going to come through and win. Andrews has done most of the lappery he requires. Puff of blue smoke there, but all's well that ends well. Out comes the flag. Andrews wins. Steve Monk finishes in second place. Graham Davis finishes in third. That's Class A. In Class B, it's Steve Griffin. In Class D, Graham Churchill. In Class C, Roger Jones. But let's talk to the man who sprang the surprise.
Bit of a shock for everybody, including myself, I think. I spent at least half an hour having kittens before the race, deciding whether it was going to be wets or dries or whatever it was going to be. And in the end, boosted as much by the financial implications of bolting on a brand new set of wets, I decided to go for dries. And luck of the gods turned out to be the right thing.
Hill climbing and round one of the Dyson